Welcome to your season finale for EHC TV. I'm Abigail Leo.
And I'm Hayden Pugh. The win was not the only thing that made the Emory Henry baseball game against Concord unusual. The game actually defied logic.
Concord came to town and blasted 10 home runs, including multi-homer games from 3 different players, and left town with everything except a win. We might need to see this to believe it. Let's go to the highlights. The Wasps would set some records of their own with 22 hits in the game, a D2 era record. We didn't have to wait long for scoring. At the bottom of the first, Jacob Beber continues his great season with this 2-run blast to the left field, and with the wind blowing out, you just had to get the ball in the air and it had a chance on this day. In the same inning, same direction, Tristan Hensley sends this one off the fence, driving in 1 run, and the Wasps would lead on Concord 3-1 after just this one inning. Eventually, though, Concord would battle back in the top of the second when Corbin Bostic hits one down the left field line. He thinks it might be going foul, but the umpire points that it's fair. And for a second, everyone is very, very confused. But the home run cuts the lead to 1. The Wasps would eventually respond. Stephen Smith hits a rocket to left center field, adding a run. And Smith would find his way to second base. The Wasps would tally 3 runs in the inning, and Smith would lead the team in both doubles and RBIs. Danger lurked in the next inning, however, as the Mountain Lions would take the lead after 3 home runs, including this 3-run blast from Matthew DeSanti. But the Wasps would take the lead back in the 4th as Camden Bailey, with the bases loaded, lifts one in the air and takes this pitch for a ride. The grand slam gives the Wasps the lead back for good, and despite giving up 10 homers, the Wasps will walk away with the win 19-17.
The softball team hit the road to South Carolina to wrap up the regular season, with hopes of picking up some momentum heading into the SAC Conference Championship. After losing Game 1, the Wasps looked to split the series, already trailing 1-0. The Wasps tied up when Danielle King put one just over the right fielder's head that resulted in a double. The very next batter, the Wasps would take the lead after this 2-run shot by Hannah Booth, which goes down the left field line, staying fair about 10 feet, giving the Wasps the lead for the first time this weekend. But the host team would battle back in the bottom of the 3rd as Danielle Merritt sends one over the fence to cut the lead to just 1. In the 4th, Anderson would take the lead as Candace Barrick hits one down the left field line and fair. 2 runs would score, Barrick would end up on second, and Anderson gets the sweep in the series with a 6-3 win in Game 2. With the loss, Emory Henry earns the 7th seed and will travel to Hickory, North Carolina on April 25th for Game 1 of a best-of-3 series versus Lenoir-Rhyne. The Wasps lost both of their games to Lenoir-Rhyne in late March.
The men's lacrosse team finished off their regular season against Tusculum. The Wasps were still looking for a conference win. Luke Brown delicately passes to Preston Stewart, who hits the pause button before going around the defender and getting the goal. One of 4 Tusculum goals in the first 5 minutes. The Wasps would eventually get on the scoreboard as Colin Shell uses a pick from a teammate, goes under the defender, and takes a shot to give Wasps the goal. Tusculum started the next period just like the first with 4 more goals until David Muse battles to get off a shot. As he goes sidearm, he flies to the ground and the ball finds the back of the net, cutting into the Tusculum lead. Ahead to the 4th period with the lead now doubled for the Pioneers, Dakota Hawkins scores 3 times in 3 minutes. The Wasps would score a season-high 8 goals, but they finished the year winless in the SAC play with a 20-8 loss to Tusculum.
The women's team also made the trip to Tusculum to close out their season. They too were looking for that elusive first win in conference play. Mackenzie Sherrod would help the Pioneers jump out to an early 3-0 lead, including this nice team play that resulted in a goal. Mina Hicks would get the Wasps on the board as she just keeps pushing herself towards the goal with little cuts and a little power to get the unassisted goal. Tusculum responded with 2 goals of their own before Justice Jones gets the soft pass from the middle of the field from Madison Stewart before finding the back of the net. Whitney Holland would add another goal for the Wasps as she sets up shop a few feet from the net and finds another goal for the Wasps, cutting the lead to 2. But Tusculum would outscore the Wasps 8-1 in the second period to stretch the lead, and the Pioneers would close the Wasps season, handing them a 23-6 loss.
The Emory Henry University Departments of Athletics hosted their 11th annual Blue and Golden Globes Award last week. The end of the year award celebration honors student athletes for their accomplishments on and off the field. Winners include Mackenzie Williams for softball for female MVP, Sean Collins of football for male MVP. The freshmen of the year were Alex Costello from wrestling and Corbin Dixon from basketball. The breakout athletes were Tristan Tefano from softball and Jackson Crawford from basketball.
Team awards were also given out, with the football team winning both Team of the Year and Coaching Staff of the Year. The athletic training staff also helped select the Comeback Players of the Year. And the winners were Abigail Street of softball and Clayton Allen from football. Congratulations also to EHC TV's advisor, Brent Treesh, who was awarded the Finale Award, which is given to the Emory Henry community member who goes above and beyond to support women's athletics. Coming up this week, the track and field teams will make history with their first ever meet at the Food City Sports Complex, as both teams host the Blue and Gold Track Classic on April 26th. The Wasps will also be sending a handful of athletes to Hickory, North Carolina at the end of April for the Outdoor Conference Championships.
Our equestrian teams will be hoping to bring home a national championship or two over the next few weeks. The IDA National Championships will be taking place on April 24th to 26th in St. Louis, Missouri. The championship will be hosted by the National Equestrian Center. The Wasps are defending national champion in dressage.
About a week later, the IHSA National Championship will take place on Friday, May 2nd and Sunday, May 4th at the Tryon International Equestrian Center. The Wasps placed third as a team at this event last year.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at EHC Television, and we will keep you posted on the rest of this year's competitions. Signing off for the semester, I'm Abigail.
And I'm Hayden Pugh. Thank you for tuning in this year, and we will see you in August.